Hello guys, this is Jack, and today we're going to be talking about the Critics' Choice final predictions. I haven't done a predictions video in a while, so I kind of want to go super deep into some of the choices that I have here before the nominations come out, I believe on the 4th. So let's kind of dive into some of my choices here. Firstly, I kind of want to talk about the state of the race right now, because we're kind of in the middle of the beginning of the season where we don't know what's going on. We don't know what films are going to be nominated, which actors are going to take over one another, stuff like that. And I kind of want to talk about some of the stuff that has been happening over the past couple of weeks as I'm recording this video before the Critics' Choice nominations. And yeah, let's kind of dive into that. Starting with Wicked for Good, kind of dropping down in terms of scores, critic ratings, audience ratings. I mean, the audience ratings for that movie has been kind of stagnant, staying pretty high. Currently, it still has a 95, 94 audience award on Rotten Tomatoes. But last time I checked, the Metacritic score for the movie has gone down to 58, which is now mixed, and it's in the yellow. So that kind of ruins the fun of Wicked for Good being a big contender this year. That's why I kind of have been standoffish a little bit with the idea of it getting the Best Picture nomination for the Oscars. But I think now, as we're starting to start the season, I think the Critics' Choice will probably keep it as is, but once we get deeper into the season, Wicked for Good will kind of drop off a little bit. Probably only focus itself on the acting categories and some of the technical awards. But I think Wicked for Good right now, it's kind of starting to fall off. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. I also want to talk about a little bit about Marty Supreme as the film is starting to come out. There's going to be more critic screenings starting on the 1st of December, so you'll start to see more and more hype around the movie. A24 is doing a really good job pushing the film out. They just started doing the 70mm screenings, posting the tickets. There's merch drops, whatnot. But the box office forecast for the film is at the 7 to 12 million range right now, and it's kind of low. But that's probably because it's an original movie, and it's a movie that I think might need some help from general audiences in terms of walk-ups. But I know a lot of people are panicking on the box office, Reddit and other places, saying oh, this is going to be a box office flop. It's not going to sustain itself during the award season. I totally disagree. You can apply the same thing with One Battle After Another. It has high critical praise, but the box office wasn't that good. But it's still in the conversation, and I think Marty Supreme will just jump all over ahead of that. And yeah, but other than that, I think other films that have kind of dropped off, Springsteen, Rental Family, Jay Kelly, those films have kind of dropped off a little bit. I think Jay Kelly has a better chance of moving itself back up once it premieres on Netflix. And I kind of said the same thing with Train Dreams, where that film came out during the Sundance season, and then it was quietly kind of disappeared, and then it came back for the fall festival season, and now it's pretty big on Netflix. So I think Jay Kelly has a good chance of bringing itself back up to this award season. I don't see Springsteen and Rental Family doing that, but who knows? We'll probably see something weird happening this season. And I would say the same thing with Nuremberg, also kind of being a part of the dark horse race, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. Here, let's kind of dive into my predictions, starting with Best Supporting Actor. I have Sean Penn at number 1 for One Battle After Another. Number 2, I have Stellan Skarsgård for Sentimental Value. Number 3, I have Paul Mescal for Hamnet. Number 4, I have Benicio del Toro for One Battle After Another. Number 5, I have Jacob Elordi for Frankenstein. Number 6, I have Adam Sandler for Jay Kelly. 7, Billy Crudup for Jay Kelly. 8, Delroy Lindo for Sinners. 9, Miles Keaton for Sinners. And then number 10, I have Josh O'Connor for Knives Out 3, Wake Up Dead Man. Okay, so starting with my top 6, we're gonna work ourselves up. So Adam Sandler, Jay Kelly, this is the one where I think he can finally get that Oscar nomination, and it's a very great performance from him. He has a lot of stuff to do in the movie. He has a lot of emotional stuff in the movie. And I think a lot of the industry is now starting to realize Adam Sandler can act. He can actually do some dramatic work, and I think this is the time for him to finally get that nomination here at the Critics' Choice. And I think they really like Jay Kelly. I kind of feel it, but as we go deeper into the categories, I kind of spoiled myself with putting Jake Kelly a bit like lower than the other movies, but it's more of like a wait and see catch for it. Number 5, I have Jacob Elordi for Frankenstein. This is coming from people who I've talked to, general people, and just people who've seen it on Netflix. I think Jacob Elordi, his performance in that movie is very transformative. He's doing a lot with like the monster and the makeup and like the whole costume design. And I think it's definitely time for him to be in the conversation. And Frankenstein's doing pretty well. It's getting up there compared to when it came out during like the fall festival season. Now that people have seen it on Netflix, I think it has a better chance to kind of grab more people's attention. And then number 4, I have Benicio del Toro for One Battle After Another. This is just one of those performances that just comes along with the movie, since the movie is just getting high praise. Benicio del Toro has a lot of stuff to do in the movie. He shows up in a lot of key scenes and really helps the main actor Leo, out with a lot of the missions in the movie, and I think it totally works for him to get nominated here. Same thing with Paul Mescal for Hamnet. Yeah, if the other two didn't exist, I think Paul Mescal would have actually won this award, because he is the face of the movie, and he is one of those characters that when he appears and disappears, you feel for him, you understand him. And same thing with Stellan Skarsgård and Sean Penn. I don't really need to explain the race between both of them, but it really depends on like how both movies perform later in the season. I think when we started predicting the awards earlier this year, we were rooting for Stellan Skarsgård to take it. But since we've seen Sean Penn in One Battle After Another, it's just a no-brainer to nominate him and potentially give him another win this year for another performance in his filmography. And I think Sean Penn has it in the bag. I don't know where he's going to stumble, but I think it's not going to be the Critics' Choice Awards. That would be kind of weird. And then the rest of the gang, Billy Crudup, I have him here at number 7 because he plays a key character in the beginning of the movie of Jay Kelly, and he has a lot of stuff to do. And even though he does disappear halfway through the movie, his performance and like his role is very expressive, and he has a lot of range from crying to getting like really angry at the main character. And I think here it's definitely worth the nomination for the Critics' Choice Award. And I would say the same thing for the rest of the people. Delroy Lindo would be really nice. I don't see a lot of talk about it right now, but it really depends if Sinners overperforms here. Same with Miles Keaton. And Josh O'Connor, happy to be here. It would be really nice if Knives Out 3 started to pick up some steam, but right now it's in limited release in theaters, and it's going to start to come out later this year in December on Netflix. So I don't know where it's going to go, but I think Josh O'Connor is more of a best leading actor performance because he is the face of the movie. He has a lot of stuff to do. He has a lot of screen time. I don't understand why Netflix is pushing him out to a supporting actor when he's a leading actor in the movie, but I don't know. But yeah, that's my best supporting actor predictions. Let's move on to the next one over here, which is best supporting actress. So next up, I have best supporting actress, and I'm starting from number 10, which is Emily Blunt for The Smashing Machine. Number 9, I have Regina Hall for One Battle After Another. Number 8, I have Winnie Mosaku for Sinners. 7, I have Odessa Zion for Marty Supreme. 6, I have Gwyneth Paltrow for Marty Supreme. 5, Ellie Fanning for Sentimental Value. Number 4, Inga Lelelis for Sentimental Value. 3, Amy Madigan for Weapons. 2, Tiana Taylor for One Battle After Another. And then number 1, I have Ariana Grande for Wicked for Good. Starting out from number 6, I've been hearing a lot of great things about Marty Supreme from the people who actually saw the movie, from like the critic screenings to the surprise Newark Film Festival screening. And a lot of people say that Gwyneth Paltrow is deserving of the nomination, but I would also tell you guys that I've been hearing Odessa Zion has more stuff to do in the movie, and she has a lot of more range in the movie, and that's why I have her at like number 7 to kind of see if one or the other kind of battle it out this year. But I think I put Gwyneth Paltrow at number 6 because of the name recognition and the welcome return of Gwyneth Paltrow. We haven't seen her in any big major movie in a while in theaters, and I think this is the one that might actually get her the nomination. And then number 5, I have Ellie Fanning for Sentimental Value. Yeah, the girls in this movie are going to be double nominated. That's my prediction this year, and I think Ellie and Inga have really good chances of battling each other out this year. But I think Inga has the better chance here because she has a lot more range and other scenes in the film that actually drive the film home. And I think a lot of the international critics groups are gonna go for Inga more than Ellie Fanning. But it's totally okay for Ellie to get here in this placement and maybe be a little bit higher than Inga, but I'm just kind of like flip-flopping between both of them. It really depends on the day. Number 3, I have Amy Madigan for Weapons, and this is one of those supporting nominations that I kind of doubted earlier when the movie came out, Weapons. But then now, when I've been hearing from people and like talking to people, I think it's now starting to really make sense. She has an Oscar nomination. She's been in the industry for a while, and this is another performance where she's showing a lot of range, even though the performance is very villainy. And yeah, I think she definitely has a great shot of getting the nomination here. It would be kind of weird if this is the only nomination for Weapons. Maybe you should get like an original screenplay nomination, maybe some other crafts. But I think Amy Madigan, it's really nice to have her like here in the conversation, and I hope she goes all the way with the Oscars. I would say the same thing with Tiana Taylor. The only negative behind her performance is just the way her character just disappears halfway through the first act of the movie. But you really feel for her character when she's on screen, and when she disappears, you still think about her. So there's no really like big negatives behind Tiana Taylor's performance. It's a really perfect supporting role for the movie. I would say the same thing for Ariana Grande, although she's more of kind of like the co-lead of Wicked for Good, where she's matching the screen time between Cynthia Erivo and herself. But the reason why she's in supporting actress is because she has a better chance here than compared to Best Actress. But it just really depends on whether or not the film has finally kind of fallen off. I don't really agree with the film falling completely off right now because people are still talking about it. But I think once we land in January and there's a lot of other contenders that are starting to really pick up steam, and we're not really talking about like the movie itself, Wicked for Good, I think Ariana Grande might drop off a little bit, and it hurts to say that right now, but it's kind of a thing that could actually happen, and I think people need to start thinking about that. But for now, Ariana Grande is pretty safe for the nomination and maybe the win. The rest of the crowd, Wumi Masaku for Sinners, it's really nice for her to finally have like more conversation behind her performance. It really depends on whether or not Sinners is like a massive nomination number this year. And it would be the same with Regina Hall for One Battle After Another. If they really like One Battle After Another like so much, then Regina Hall just like comes up with it. And then Emily Blunt for The Smashing Machine, it's just because The Smashing Machine, the movie itself, has completely fallen off. It flopped at the box office. It's been getting kind of like middling critic reviews, especially on Letterboxd. And I think now, since the movie has kind of like passed, there's no need to really nominate Emily Blunt here. But I think the reason why I have her here is because if she does get nominated for some reason, another person might come along with it. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. But Emily Blunt, like, she's always in the conversation whenever a movie comes out, and she's like in the middle of like the award season. We were kind of like having that moment a few years ago with A Quiet Place. She did get the SAG nomination for that, so I think now just the movie kind of like disappearing off of the radar might hurt her chances, but who knows? We'll see what will happen with this. But yeah, it's my Best Supporting Actress predictions. Let's kind of move on to Leading Actor. So next up I have Leading Actor, starting with number 10, Dwayne Johnson for The Smashing Machine. Number 9, Lee Byung-hun for No Other Choice. Number 8, George Clooney for Jay Kelly. Number 7, Joel Edgerton for Train Dreams. Number 6, Jesse Plemons for Bugonia. Number 5, Ethan Hawke for Blue Moon. Number 4, Michael B. Jordan for Sinners. Number 3, Leo DiCaprio for One Battle After Another. Number 2, Wagner Moura for The Secret Agent. And number 1, I have Timothée Chalamet for Marty Supreme. So starting with like the top 6. Jesse Plemons for Bugonia, it's starting to really pick up. The movie came out in theaters just last month, but it's now starting to pick up in the VOD space. And I think people have been talking about his performance being one of the best in his career. He has a lot of stuff to do. He has a lot of scenes where he's really pulling himself in the ringer, with Emma Stone. And yeah, man, like I think he's definitely has a great shot of finally getting the Oscar nomination right now, but I think right now also as well, the Critics' Choice nomination, and it just, I don't know, it just makes sense for me. I think the only negative is just if the Critics' Choice are really kind of like tired of Yorgos' shtick. If that actually is true, then yeah, I think Bugonia will probably fall off, but I highly doubt that. I think this is more palatable for Critics' Choice voters and just people who are really more attentive to his other films like Poor Things and The Favorite. But yeah, I think that's the reason why I have Jesse Plemons here at number 6. He could fall off, but I think another person might actually take his place. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But number 5, I have Ethan Hawke for Blue Moon. He's starting to actually finally get some buzz. The film, I think, came out finally on digital, and people have kind of like talked about his performance way past earlier, I think since the Berlin Film Festival earlier this year. But I think now that the movie is finally getting widely seen, it's starting to pick up. I think Ethan Hawke has a great chance of getting that nomination, and Sony Pictures Classics is always great with their campaigns. They did so well with I'm Still Here last year, so I think they have a great chance of doing the same thing again with Blue Moon, but this time with like Ethan Hawke being the great face of the movie. And Ethan Hawke has so much to do in the movie. He is in 100% of the movie. He has a lot of crying, pissing, screaming moments. And it's Ethan Hawke, man. Like, he's one of the greatest actors of our time. And I think we're kind of like starting to see his rise to the awards contender season. So I have him here at number 5, a firm number 5. I'm waiting to see if he can kind of like pick up a little bit more. Same thing with Michael B. Jordan for Sinners. He comes along with the movie. I know a lot of people have been talking about like how his performance is just, it's fine, it's whatever, but I disagree. I think him playing dual roles in the film Smoke and Stack, there's a distinction between both of the characters. He has a lot of dramatic chops in both of those characters. And of course, he's the face of the movie, but he just has a lot of range in that type of role that he's playing, both roles. So yeah, like I just agree that like Michael B. Jordan might be the face and the only like leading actor in the movie that could be nominated for an Oscar and potentially the Critics' Choice Award. But again, it just really depends if like they really love Sinners, and I think they do. So I don't really see him missing anywhere, and I don't really see the rest of the 3 missing, especially Leo for One Battle After Another. He is to face the movie. The only negative is just like, oh, we've seen this performance before, but come on, man, it's Leo. So I don't really have to say anything about that. Then we get to Wagner Moore for The Secret Agent, and the way I'm putting it together is the way this film has been like critically praised across the board. I have seen no negative, like massive negative reviews of the movie. I've seen some like mixed things, but one of the people that I follow and I know, Justin from The Oscar Expert, the way he kind of like took it is he saw the movie the first time at Cannes. He wasn't vibing with it, and then he said like, okay, yeah, but like the Wagner Moore performance is pretty good, but I need to like watch it again. And he watched it again, and he had a better grasp of the movie, and he felt like the performance was much more granular compared to the last time he saw it. And for me personally, I watched it for the first time, and I immediately like got like the performance, especially like him playing 3 types of roles, and kind of like the dynamic between like those 3 roles. And just on top of that, he won the Best Actor award at Cannes, and he's starting to pick up a lot of awards from other critics groups and festivals, and now I think it's the perfect time for him to finally get nominated here. Only negative is just if the movie doesn't hit for Critics' Choice viewers, but I disagree because all the stats and just awards are more of the big positive thing compared to just people going like, oh yeah, like it was fine, it was whatever. But I think Wagner Moore, like he is the international choice pick for Best Actor this year, hands down. And then we get to Timothée Chalamet for Marty Supreme, and this is just coming from all noise of just people who have seen the movie and just like the word of mouth from it. And I think, sure, like we could award Leo again another award for a performance that we've kind of seen before, but I think Timothée Chalamet, the way I've been hearing it, it seems like he's finally going to get his first Oscar win for this type of role, and I think here he has a great chance of getting that award here at the Critics' Choice, but I think that's the reason why I have it at number 1. The only like negative I have is if it performs just like Uncut Gems, where it's getting all of his like high praise and whatnot, but like no critics groups are like biting for it. No international groups are biting for it, especially with the performance. It's just like, okay, it's whatever. And then they just move on to the next thing. And it's just like, okay, I could see that happening, but I don't think it's going to happen because a lot of the rights and wrongs from that season where Uncut Gems was just snubbed completely that season is going to come back to this year where people are going to go like, oh, we're sorry for not paying attention to Uncut Gems. This is your time, Josh Safdie. So yeah, I think Timothée Chalamet is in a firm great spot right now for Best Actor at the Critics' Choice. And then we're gonna move on to Best Actress. Oh, and I also forgot to mention about the kind of like the bottom people for Best Actor. Joel Edgerton for Train Dreams. I think honestly, he has a really good shot of knocking off Jesse Plemons because of the way the film has finally come out on Netflix. People are talking about it. It's just getting like high praise on film Twitter, Reddit, Letterboxd, and it's actually, I think, tops the charts on Netflix. So I think now Joel Edgerton has a really great chance of finally getting his first Critics' Choice nomination, if I remember correctly, if he has been nominated before. But yeah, man, like, I need to rewatch Train Dreams. I was kind of like in the minority of saying it's fine, but I think it was probably because like I watched it when I was like sick. And I think now, since I'm better, I'm more attentive right now. I think I have more of like a good chance of like liking the film a little bit more. And I kind of felt the same thing with Jay Kelly. I rewatched it again recently, and I have a little bit more of a positive outcome from that movie, but I still think George Clooney might actually miss this year because of the way people aren't really talking about Jay Kelly right now. And yeah, I think that's like basically it for that. Now, the last two people are going to be really interesting, and I think it's just the way people are talking about it right now. I have Lee Brung-hun for No Other Choice, and this is another international actor pick that I think might actually have a chance of standing the test of time this season, mainly because of the way No Other Choice is starting to pick up in the season. You're starting to see and hear a lot of people who finally have seen the movie and are highly praising the movie and are really kind of like putting their chips on Lee Brung-hun, and his performance in this movie is just immaculate. Like, I think it's one of the best performances of the year, next to Wagner Moura and Ethan Hawke and Leo. And it would be really cool for him to finally be a part of the conversation. It just really depends on whether or not Neon is going to find ways to put all their bags in the chips with No Other Choice, with Secret Agent, Sarat. It Was Just an Accident, just all the movies they have this year. And then number 10, for some reason I have Dwayne Johnson for The Smashing Machine, and this is just coming out of nowhere for me because there's no other choice, no pun intended, compared to other performances that I can choose from here. But I think Dwayne Johnson, sure, the movie flopped critically, financially, but I think a lot of people in the industry want to give something to Dwayne Johnson just for the way he did his performance in that movie. He has a lot of Beatty Oscar clip moments, and I think if people have watched the movie, they can probably go like, okay, well, yeah, I can totally see Dwayne Johnson finally be the one who is going against the grain with his work, and he's finally doing some dramatic chops. But I have him at number 10. I don't really see it. It just really depends if Emily Blunt comes along with it. They need to be together, and if it's one or the other, it's not going to happen. So that's my bottom Best Leading Actor stats predictions. Let's move on to Best Actress. So next up, I have Best Actress or Best Leading Actress for the Critics' Choice Awards. Starting at number 10, I have Tessa Thompson for Hedda. Number 9, I have Jennifer Lawrence for Die My Love. Number 8, I have Kate Hudson for Song Sung Blue. Number 7, I have Chase Infinity for One Battle After Another. And then rounding out the top 6, I have Cynthia Erivo for Wicked for Good. Amanda Seyfried for The Testament of Anne Lee. Number 4, I have Emma Stone for Bugonia. Number 3, I have Rose Byrne for If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. Number 2, I have Reinza Renzva for Sentimental Value, Renai Renzva. Number 1, I have Jessie Buckley for Hamnet. Let's start from the bottom, just real quick. Tessa Thompson for Hedda. I recently saw this movie. I missed it twice during the festival season, but I finally got to watch it on Amazon Prime. And she does a really great job in that movie. She's the face of the movie. She has a lot of stuff to do in the movie. The movie itself is pretty good, although I think it's kind of one of those films that is more of an acting showcase than a directing showcase. But the way she kind of like performs in that movie is just really great. And I think it's the only Amazon movie this year after The Hunt just like completely flopped. So I think they can probably put some chips with Hedda. And then number 9, I have Jennifer Lawrence for Die My Love. It would be really nice for her to finally get a nomination this season because I think her performance in that movie is just one of the best of the year. And I was more higher, critically praised type of person for that movie, but Die My Love, the movie itself, is very polarizing, so I don't really see it going anywhere this season. And starting to bubble up is Kate Hudson for Song Sung Blue. It just really depends on whether or not the boomers are going to go full force with this movie. It is the most boomer bait movie of the year compared to Nuremberg, and I think older voters are going to fight for this movie compared to younger voters. But I think from what I've been hearing, Kate Hudson, her performance in this movie is pretty spectacular. I haven't seen the movie yet, so I can't really say anything about it, but it would be really nice for her to finally be part of the conversation again, since Almost Famous from the 2000s. So that's why I have her here as kind of like the bubble up in this below the line. And then number 7, I have Chase Infinity for One Battle After Another. She's campaigning as a lead actress this season in full force. It would be really cool for her to get a nomination this year somewhere. I think Critics' Choice is a really good place for her to start having that conversation. She is the second face of the movie, and she has a lot of stuff to do, especially near the third act of the movie. And I don't know, I think it could happen. I think Cynthia Erivo has kind of like fallen off a little bit at number 6 for Wicked for Good, and I think it's probably because people are starting to really think about whether or not she should be nominated this season for a movie that has lesser critical praise than the first movie, and other actresses in this field might actually have a better shot because of just the way they haven't been in the conversation for a while. And yeah, I don't know. I think Cynthia Erivo, she's kind of like on edge of missing out. But I think it's more of like reading the room and kind of like reading into like the articles and like people who have kind of been lukewarm about the movie critically with Wicked for Good. But if she does miss, I think Chase Infinity is probably going to be the next one to pick up the slack. And then number 5, I have Amanda Seyfried for The Testament of Anne Lee. The conversation behind this movie is starting to pick up. It's coming out in late December. It's going to have more screenings, but I think for those who've seen the movie, me included, and those who've seen it at the festivals, high praise for Amanda Seyfried. She has a great shot of getting the Oscar nomination if the movie starts to really pick up later this year. And then Emma Stone is in a firm 4th place, and it's probably because of like the name check of Emma Stone. Yeah, I think that's like the reason why I have her here. And then number 3, Rose Byrne. She has more of like a higher chance here because of the way people have been talking about her performance in If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. And I think it's just the way because of how you see the performance. She's going all out. You really feel for her character. And even though it's a polarizing film itself, if you do watch the movie, you'll come out saying like, oh shit, like Rose Byrne actually like gave one of the best performances of the year. And I think people need to like take that chance of like actually watching the movie in its full entirety with like Rose Byrne's performance really like hitting you hard. But the only negative here is just the polarizing reaction to the movie. And then lastly, Renai Rensva for Sentimental Value. She's in a firm number 2 spot because of now another person who has come into the race and kind of like taking this thunder away from Renai. But before all of this happened, earlier this season we predicted Renai Rensva for taking the award this year for the Oscars and other places, but I think now, since Jessie Buckley is like the major contender this year, I think Renai Rensva has kind of like a shot of either overtaking Jessie or just staying in the firm number 2 spot. But honestly, I think it's just, I've seen the movie again, and her performance in that movie is really damn great. She's doing a lot of like work, great character work. But I think Jessie Buckley takes the cake here. She's doing pretty much everything that you do to get that like win, here, and I think Jessie Buckley is she's just an immaculate actress. And yeah, like, I don't really need to say anything too much about this placement here for Jessie Buckley and Renai Rensva, because it's just the way it is right now. So yeah, that's like my best actress predictions here for the Critics' Choice. Let's kind of like move on to other places like Ensemble, Director, and then Picture, and also Best Comedy Film for some reason. So next up I have Ensemble, starting with Wake Up Dead Man at number 8, Jay Kelly at number 7, Wicked for Good at number 6, Sentimental Valley at number 5, Hamnet at number 4, Marty Supreme at number 3, Sinners at number 2, and One Battle After Another at number 1. The bottom two people, or films that I should say, Jay Kelly and Wake Up Dead Man 3, whatever the fuck. It just really depends on what Netflix is doing with their movies. I think Jay Kelly has a better chance here because of the way people have been talking about it past the Venice premiere. I think it's riding off of George Clooney, Adam Sandler, Billy Crudup, Laura Dern, those big ensemble casts compared to Wake Up Dead Man, which we've already done Knives Out before. I don't know what Netflix is doing with their campaign for this movie, but I think Jay Kelly has a better chance here. Wicked for Good might actually drop off, in my opinion, mainly because of the way the critical praise of the movie is like way worse than the last film, but it's still going to stay here at number 6 just because. And Sentimental Value is starting to kind of like pick up a little bit more as we're getting deeper and deeper into the award season, but I have it just here at number 5, if and only if anything else happens to start to drop off. Hamnet, Marty Supreme, Sinners, and One Battle After Another, I feel like these are like the perfect placements for these types of movies. Hamnet, it's getting a lot of like awards, prizes at a lot of festivals, and it's the award-friendly movie compared to the other ones that I have here, but I think number here at number 4 for Hamnet, it's going to stay here, and it might pick up some more steam if Marty Supreme falls off, or Sinners falls off, or even One Battle After Another, which I highly doubt. Marty Supreme, I'm coming way off of like the reactions from like, again, the screenings that have been screened to critics and people who have seen it at the New York Film Festival, so that's why I have it here. It's starting to pick up more steam as we're getting closer and closer to the release date. And then One Battle After Another is like the perfect number 1 film for the season. I don't have too much to say about that. And I don't have too much to say about Sinners, although I think Sinners has a really great chance of kind of like picking up its nominations and also conversation again if One Battle After Another just like stumbles for some reason. But that's my ensemble picks for the Critics' Choice. Let's kind of move on to the rest of the pack, which is director, comedy, and film. I don't really need to say too much about Best Director. I think Paul Thomas Anderson is going to take it this year for everything, and I would say the same with Ryan Coogler being like the competition this season. Josh Safdie, Chloe Zhao, Guillermo del Toro, and Jafar Panahi are all just happy to be here. I think Del Toro, he's starting to pick up again long after the film premiered at Venice and TIFF, and Jafar Panahi is the international pick this season because of the way the conversation is going with the film. He's doing a lot of press for the movie, he's going to a lot of Q&As, and he has a really great chance of picking up a lot of that international group this season. And the movie did win the Palme d'Or this year, so that's why I have Jafar Panahi at number 6, a firm number 6. And then just bubbling is Park Chan-wook for No Other Choice, Joachim Trier for Sentimental Value, Yorgos Lanthimos for Bugonia, and James Cameron for Avatar: Fire and Ash. The reason why I have Park Chan-wook at number 7 is just the same kind of conversation that's going with the film. Honestly, for me personally, I think we should be talking more about Park Chan-wook and his ability to actually overcome a lot of the stuff that's happening with Neon Slate, but also just the movie in general. It's getting a lot of praise. I think now is the perfect time to finally give Park Chan-wook some love. Joachim Trier for Sentimental Valley, it's a thing where I think the movie itself, it doesn't really need to be a Best Director nominee compared to the other choices that we have here. It's more of like an acting showcase type of movie, in my opinion, but I would not be shocked if Joachim Trier just gets the nomination just because the movie is super high. Same with Yorgos Lanthimos. It's kind of like a been there, done that. We've already seen shades of Yorgos Lanthimos in his career. lately, and I think Bugonio is kind of like a return to form to just making a broad comedy, but also has like a sci-fi twist and still playing with like sensibilities, but it's also very palatable for general audiences. And I would kind of say the same thing with James Cameron. It's just a because thing. You need to fill out the 10 slots that you have on the awards expert app, but I think also at the same time, movie hasn't come out yet, so I don't know if it's going to far lesser than the last movie or it's going to be better than the last movie. So I think that's why I have James Cameron here at number 10. And again, I don't really have to like talk about the rest of the choices here. Like Del Toro he's going up. Josh Safdie's in the firm third just because of the way people are talking about the direction in that movie who have seen it. And then Chloe Zhao is just happy to be here. But yeah, I think that's like the best director choices that I have here for the Critics' Choice. And then comedy and film kind of like intertwines a little bit, although I think Naked Gun has a really good shot of getting the nomination at number 4, Jay Kelly at number 5, No Other Choice at number 6, Wake Up Dead Man at number 3, Marty Supreme at number 2, and One Battle After Another at number 1. Don't need to say anything too much about this, although I think No Other Choice being here at number 6 is going to be fucking awesome. Excited for Critics' Choice to finally do something with No Other Choice, because if it shows up here, then it's going to have a good kind of run this season. And then finally, Best Film. At number 10, I have Wicked for Good. Number 9, I have It Was Just an Accident. Number 8, Train Dreams. Number 7, Bugonio. Number 6, Frankenstein. Number 5, Marty Supreme. Number 4, Sentimental Value. Number 3, Hamnet. Number 2, Sinners. And number 1, I have One Battle After Another. And then rounding out just my 12, I have No Other Choice at number 11 and Jay Kelly at number 12. So Jay Kelly, again, really depends if Netflix is going to go all out for the campaign for the movie. It's starting to fall off a little bit, but I think it's going to pick up once it premieres on Netflix later this December. The choice is starting to pick up. Wicked for Good is starting to fall off critically. As I mentioned, It Was Just an Accident is staying at a firm number 9 because of the Palme d'Or win. And then Train Dreams at number 8. The reason why I have this here a little bit higher is because it premiered at these festivals, starting from like Sundance to the fall festivals to now Netflix, and it's getting really good praise. And I think now is the perfect time for Netflix to finally like hit hard with the campaign for the movie, and it's getting really great praise critically. Number 7, Bugonia is at a firm number 7. Frankenstein also as well at number 6. It's higher now because of like the word of mouth from like Netflix. Number 5, Marty Supreme, word of mouth. Same with like Sentimental Value, even though it dropped off a little bit. I still keep it at number 4 because of just like the position it's at right now in the season. And then just the top 3, I think Hamnet is higher than Sentimental Value because of now it starting to premiere in theaters, the awards kind of potential, the audience awards that it's getting from like these festivals, and then just the general vibe, just having Chloe Zhao return to her place in cinema by making a very quiet and meditative movie about Shakespeare's life, but also with a tragedy happening underneath the entire film. So you have that, and then Sinners and One Battle After Another are just two films that are just like battling it out with each other. Yeah, like the placement here for One Battle After Another and Sinners, it just makes sense. It makes total sense here. I don't need to talk about too much about that. But yeah, other than that, like that's basically it for Best Film. I'm sorry I kind of like rushed the rest of the categories, but I think that's most of the categories that are needed here to be paid attention to. Stick around for the Golden Globes nominations, final predictions, because I have a lot more to say about those awards compared to the Critics' Choice. But yeah, that's basically it. Thank you guys so much. Take care. Peace out. Bye-bye.